As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody. For whoever wants to listen, I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Scootin' Mashoots. What's up, dude?
It's going to be a couple of tumultuous weeks. We're going to have a lot of episodes out with all these goddamn shows on at the same time.
They like to do that. We got like a lot of dead air, and then it's like, bam, here's 5 shows.
Maybe you just get into a groove. We've got 4 episodes a week, feeling good about it. How about 7 for you guys this week?
What else do we have this? We got 2 summer houses, Jersey,
Valley,
Vanderpump, Valley.
live show.
Live show. Oh, shit, that's right. Yeah.
7 episodes.
You guys got a lot of content.
For the baby birds.
Yeah, I am so happy that apparently stuck.
I know, that's why I brought it up. I don't like saying it, but I just brought it up.
It was such a one-off thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to just be funny, and then we got mentioned that at the show. Somebody commented it, and I think another person commented it, like, oh, I'm a baby bird. I'm like, that's what our flock is called, I guess?
Yeah.
And we can call them a flock.
There's also somebody out there that was going to make us T-shirts.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And we want those.
Yeah, I would like that. I believe that they're, oh, no, they made their own crop tops. I said I would like a crop top.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Still would.
Still would.
Yeah, I would love a crop top. So if you're listening, reach out so we can get those shirts.
Yeah.
But anyway, as you might have seen on our page or on TV or the Bravo Sphere, it is RHONJ season. And I just need to ask right out of the gate, how you feeling about that?
Fuck this show. It's just like, and this is not going to be, I don't know, it's just so boring. And there's so many of the same dynamics. Even you throw in new people last year, they just fall into the fold. People are going to listen to this episode because they want to hear us hate it. And you came to me with an approach. Let's just watch it like a reality TV show. Let's try to enjoy it.
Keep it light.
I don't think I'm capable of that. It's not like it's one of those shows where like we can pick and choose the funny moments and just laugh about it. Everything that they do is just annoying to me.
Well, it's because everything, and I think that this season in particular is going to be more difficult to navigate, knowing what has come out on social media involving all of these content creators and people that have been. The funny thing was, it was like alleged for a while, right?
Yeah.
Like we'd heard about this, like, oh, Teresa's paying people and the Fudas are paying people and all these people are paying people to put shit out there. And we even sat here and laughed. We said, that's ridiculous. People accused us of being on payrolls. We have yet to see any money.
Yeah, we wish.
Yeah, if we are not above bribery. We've said this before. For whatever reason, we haven't been offered any
kind of bullshit, honestly.
Yeah, I know. I feel left out now. That's the stance we're going to take. What the fuck?
And that's the other thing is like all that information came out, and of course it came from just one side, that only one side is doing it. They're both doing it. If one of them's doing it, both of them are doing it.
I believe that too.
1,000%. If you're telling me that just Teresa and Jen are out there paying people, I guarantee you that the Fudas and Melissa are also paying people, or Joe Gorga. And he probably owes them a lot of money because it's Joe Gorga. So that's just like, it's just ridiculous to me that one side or the other, if whoever you're fighting for or whatever the hell you're doing out there, you're going to say, oh no, that's not them. It's like, no, everybody's out there paying. If one person is, they're all out there.
Yeah, and I posted.
Except for us. We're not getting shit.
We ain't getting a goddamn penny, which is bullshit. We'll pick a side. We haven't picked a side.
Yeah, we'll pick a side.
Regardless of what so many people that get mad at us for our jersey reviews because they're on Team Teresa. I don't know why you take offense every time. We have never picked a side.
No.
We have been neutral.
If anything, I even said this earlier while watching this. If I had to pick a side of who I would actually be friends with and hang out with, it would probably be the Teresa side. Because at least it sounds like they're having like some fun and they talk about other things. The Marge Jr. side, which by the way, we bring back Marge Jr.
I do like that.
The Marge Jr. side, I'm not even going to call it the Melissa side because she doesn't do dick. It's just Marge just spewing all this hatred out there. They are miserable, and all they do is talk about Teresa. At least Teresa's side talks about some other shit.
Yeah, I'm not even going to like venture a guess as to who I would actually want to hang out with. I just think what bugs me about this show, and primarily not the casual watchers, not the people that enjoy Jersey, I'm not talking about you.
Mm-hmm.
All of you know who I'm talking about. It's this like rabid, toxic fan base that surrounds this show that makes watching it and talking about it difficult because no matter what you say, it will get spun to fit the narrative of either side, or they will yell at you from there. There's no right answer to this, and it really, really bugs me because at the end of the day, this is a reality TV show and should be watched as such. It shouldn't be watched under this like guise of it's like life or death. It's super serious. Let's ruin people's lives that get involved with this show.
Yeah.
That's the level we're at. Let's ruin lives to prove a point that you're Team Teresa or Team Melissa. And when you go to the extent of pulling in content creators to like spin this narrative, it's like we're in a goddamn election.
It actually is. It's very election-y. And there's a lot of people out there that, because Jersey's been going on for so long and Teresa's been such a mainstay, a lot of people out there are like, I just like Teresa because of, I watched her when I was younger and I got into Bravo during all of that. So I don't really care. That's just where I am. And I'm like, I get that. That makes sense. It's the other people that feel like they need to. And it's so funny too, because I woke up Sunday morning and I'm on Twitter or I'm on Instagram or whatever, and everybody's already starting.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, if you told me that and I had no context as to what the show was, and you just said, yeah, Jersey's premiering tonight, all these people are talking about it, I'd be like, that's electric.
Yeah,
that's
lit.
fun. Show me paragraphs, show me old clips. This is so much fun. Knowing that it's Jersey, as soon as you start reading one of the paragraphs, you're like, ugh, fucking kill me.
Yeah, it's so intense. And then if anyone has a differing opinion, they say the meanest shit to each other. It's not like a fun debate. And it's like it's just frustrating because, again,
I think you should get out on Twitter and just start leaving some comments.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Nope. Nope. Not going to do it. And like,
no, make your own personal. No, you know what you should do?
make my own burner.
Make a burner.
What should I call it? RHONJ all day.
Well, don't say it on the air. Maybe
Someone-
start there.
Someone's going to have that account. They're like, it's Steele's burner account. Like, no, I don't want to get involved. And like, we love talking about these shows. That's how this podcast started. We love watching these shows. We like talking about them, all the above. With this one in particular, it gets difficult as we get into the thick of it, especially once sides really start being taken, drama starts really happening. It gets difficult. We're going to do our best to navigate these waters from the mindset of let's have some fun. It's not going to go
Let's
well.
do this. How about we just do what we normally do and not let the comments affect us?
I like that.
Let's try that one
Let's
for
try that
size.
one.
Yeah.
All right, let's give that a whirl. I can't wait to read them, though.
No, yeah, and then we just laugh them off.
But for those of you listening, we had our live show last Friday down in D.C. at Union Stage. Dare I say it was our best one yet?
They just keep getting better.
It was so much fun. We had an absolute blast with Ryan Bailey, with Candace, and with Chris. Like, it was such a fun time. The venue was awesome. The area, the wharf down in D.C.
Oh, dude, that
holy
wharf was
shit.
awesome.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
And we stayed in like we went all out this time.
Yeah, we decided to go all out, mostly because the hotel was really close to the venue. But yeah, we went all out.
Yeah, but it was super fun. And ended the night at the MGM casino down there.
Uh-huh.
Got smoked in blackjack.
Yep.
Ate some noodles at midnight, and then I ordered a pizza at around 1:30 in the morning when we got back to the hotel.
Hell yeah.
All in all, roaring success. Wonderful night.
All in all, great time.
And you can actually listen to part 1 of that episode is out. Part 2 will be out actually today. So if you're listening to this, the second part is going to drop today as well. So you can listen to the whole thing. Unfortunately, we could not capture video. We just got the audio, but you can listen. We've already dropped the first part, like I said. So go back, listen to that. And you can hear how much fun we have. And then you can buy tickets to the next show. I will say this, and this isn't even a plug. There are 7 tickets left to Boston.
Yep.
That's it. There's only 7. It's June 14th, Friday night in Boston. Like I said, 7 spots left. If you want to come, get those tickets like as you're hearing this, because I imagine they will not be available within a week.
Yep. That's a good way to do it.
But other than that, it's time. It is time to dive into Jersey. Let's rip off this Band-Aid. It's still festering from last year, but it's time to dive back in. And I will say this about the show. There's something about Jersey, and it's always kind of resonated with me. I don't know if it's because we're from Philly and like it's more relatable, like not the drama in particular, but just like the characters, like
The accents.
the accents, perhaps. I don't know. There's something that's why it bugs me that I can't enjoy it more, because I just dread the social media aspect of it, because I want to like it. I really do want to like it. I wish that they would get off this Melissa Teresa bullshit. it seems like we might get a reprieve because Melissa is refusing to talk about.
Sure, she is. Yeah, sure.
For now, we get clips from like the last. That was the whole thing. Let's just jump.
Well, let's just jump right in, and I have a feeling about this.
Okay.
The fact that they showed us something, a big blow up that happened 3 months down the line, and I'm assuming it's probably the finale or very close to it. The fact that they show that in the first
what you're gonna predict?
episode means that this fucking season is going to suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I predict your prediction?
Yeah, you knew it all along. You could tell as soon as I started talking about it. The fact that you're going to show us what's probably the climax of just a terrible season in the first few seconds of the first episode means, hey, make sure you guys hang out because this is going to get crazy. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to be cautiously optimistic. I'm just cautious right now, but hopefully that optimism will trickle in somewhere. I tend to be an optimistic person.
Well, the best part is, I bet you that huge thing at the end of the season sucks too. You show some broken glasses everywhere. I bet somebody just tripped and fell.
No, I think it's gonna blow up.
I'm just waiting to be let down.
Well, let's dive into this one. Like you said, we start out with that montage with Dolores just sitting at the table alone. It's very dramatic. I did appreciate that, actually. And we get a big 3 months earlier. And as that's happening, Nico, this dog, I don't know, is that Melissa's dog?
Yeah.
Pees on the curtain.
Yeah.
God damn it. Get these dogs trained. This can't keep happening.
Well, I think that dog was at least a puppy.
Based on what? That it's little?
No. Well, partially, but also because her daughter was laying in bed with the dog and the dog had a diaper on 5 seconds later. Maybe it was just a puppy.
I hope it's a puppy because I'm sick of poorly trained dogs. It's not fair to
little dogs with their little bladders. They're just peeing all over the place.
Do not do that. Don't give them excuses.
I need to have some fun.
We start out with the Fudas, and they got the whole family coming over. We got to give a shout out to John Fuda, who looks like a different person. And like we obviously see.
Why do we have to shout him out?
Just because he lost so much weight and he looks good.
Okay.
I'm going to give him some props.
Sick. He's trying to be a housewife.
Okay, I'm still giving props.
That's why he did this. This is his show now.
Regardless, they are meeting with the family and everything, and they're talking about Fessler's surprise party, and Fuda was told that she wants to invite everybody. Fessler wants everybody to be involved, so she texts Teresa, she texts Jen Aiden. Teresa actually did respond. Jen Aiden did not. Still shows up, but didn't respond to the text message, and has to preface it all with, we're not building a bridge, we're not mending this relationship. I'm simply inviting them because I was told to. And it just sets up like a precedent for the entire season where it's like, all right, the lines are firmly drawn in the sand. We're going to see no movement. There's going to be no movement this side versus this side. Once again, it's still Teresa versus Melissa seemingly. Mm-hmm. But speaking of, we get to see Melissa, and a lot of the beginning of this episode is just check-ins. You got Melissa and Antonia's going to college. You got Teresa and Gabriella's going to college, to Michigan. Boo. But after we check in with everybody, we get Teresa and Louie, and they're sitting down. They're going through the wedding album. One funny comment from that. Teresa's like, I was mad at God for a while. Like, why did I have to go to jail? It's like, because you broke the law. Let's not forget about the details of why you went to jail. Like, I don't care that she went to jail.
It's not God's fault.
Yeah, but
leave him out of it.
What the fuck?
Or her.
What happened, God? You broke the law, so therefore you must go to jail. That's your fault, not God's fault. But it's been 1 year of marriage for these two, and they're getting ready to go to Fessler's party. They're both going to go, and they have not seen Joe or Melissa since the reunion. But as they're discussing it, they're trying to just like navigate forward in this in some way, shape, or form. And I guess that at some point, Louie had texted Fuda to clear the air, have a cup of coffee. I actually respect this move. I will say this, and here we go. People are going to be like, see, your team, this, that. No. I do believe that everything that Louie does is calculated. I think that he has an agenda when he's like trying to get Fuda to come meet with him and have coffee. Could be wrong.
I think, I mean, it's calculated in the sense that he knows what's going to happen if he tries to have this conversation at Fessler's party.
I agree.
And the other end of it is Fuda wants to have the conversation at Fessler's party because, one, the cameras are rolling. Again, he's trying out to be a housewife. Two, all of his boys are there. Joe's going to get involved. I don't even know where the fuck Joe Bonino stands. But he feels more comfortable doing it there in a bigger setting because it's good for the show and it makes him look better or whatever the fuck he's thinking. Louie wants to do this one-on-one because he wants to avoid that. and it's also sort of away from cameras, but he can kind of control it. So it's just like a push and shove, and it's just never going to happen.
No, it's not going to, and it doesn't, because as we find out later, Louis had a business meeting in Florida that he really had to get
He didn't have a meeting. Yeah, it's just he didn't want to go.
It does, like, what?
Yeah.
I thought so too, but we do get to check in with Fessler, and Fessler is like my favorite. She's such a great addition.
She's great.
Yeah,
she's the best friend of.
I agree firmly, and she's learning guitar, and it made me laugh because when I learned how to play guitar when I was getting lessons like way back, the first song you learn, I didn't know this, was Amazing Grace.
Is it?
And like she was playing another one. I was When the Saints Go Marching.
Yeah.
Those are two because it works on chord progressions.
Mhm.
So she was playing. I was like, oh shit, that's what I learned to play first. So
Yeah,
that
but
was,
were you singing too?
God no. I
Yeah,
still can't
right?
sing when I play. Yeah, no. It's tough. It's tough to
I
get
know.
the chords and the voice to work together.
I've seen many a person show up at a high school party with a guitar and start singing when nobody asked them to do it.
Really? Who?
Not at our parties.
Oh,
just
just in
there's a couple in like the Northeast. Yeah,
Oh God,
yeah, dude.
they actually did.
Yeah,
Who does that?
losers.
What do you think happens? Do you think it's like the movies where cool guy with
Chicks are gonna love me.
I just think of the scene from Animal House when Bluto like breaks the guitar against the wall.
Pretty much, yeah. Kind of what I wanted to do.
But Marge arrives and gifts Jen a vibrator. And Jen's happy because now she doesn't have to use her toothbrush. But again, this comes up a lot when we're discussing like the women buying gifts for one another.
Yeah.
There's a lot of vibrators.
A lot of vibrators being purchased. A lot
would-
of sex toys.
I
A lot of double-sided dildos.
Yeah, we get to talk about that later too. I would just love one day I might do it and just like be like, here, bro. Got your
Fleshlight?
fleshlight. Yeah. Don't be weird. I just say,
Are you gonna follow up a couple weeks later and ask me how it is?
See, but you're proving my point.
But
The
that's- I
difference
think-
is so like it's
I
way
know.
grosser for us. Right?
Yeah,
and it just is, and it's okay. But it's just so funny to
We
me.
need girls to sound off in the comments because do you ask like weeks later, how was it?
Oh, do you check back?
Do you
in?
check back in?
Oh, interesting.
Because, if you get somebody like a cool gadget, not sexual related, you might ask a few weeks later, how is it?
That's a good.
Do you do that with a vibrator?
I don't know.
Would you do it with a fleshlight?
No, I wouldn't. But that's the
So you
thing.
wouldn't give me the
dudes
fleshlight in the first
wouldn't
place,
buy that
yeah.
for each other, and like they shouldn't. That's weird. Like this, I don't find weird. If I bought you a sex toy, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, bizarre.
Yeah. Anyway, but we check in with Marge, and she's talking about how she has too much going on, not herself lately. She's all go, 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 and we find out that her stepson got engaged. And as we know, Jan, her ex-husband, has passed away, so she's dealing now with being the solo parent, which she hasn't done before. And even though they were divorced, she says, our family was always solid. We always leaned on each other for family stuff. So I felt for Marge here, and she, by going through everything she's going through, or has so much going on, I should say, she really hasn't processed this whole thing. So I'm curious how that's going to weigh in on the season, because obviously that's going to affect and take an emotional toll on you.
I mean, more than anything, it's going to give Marge something a little different because usually we just see her not sharing her personal story, not going too far into anything that she's going through. This is going, at least episode 1, she's showing that something else is going on. So it'll be interesting to see if she has enough time to play with other people's emotions and marriages and stuff.
That's a good point. Now that she's got some shit going on in
Yeah.
her life. And I guess a challenge for her would be, like, is she going to continue being open about this throughout the season? Because that would be a sign of Marge, or a side of Marge, that we really haven't seen, at least for the last 2 years. Because we've covered this now. This is our 3rd season of Jersey.
Yeah.
So we haven't really gotten a glimpse too far into, like, what's going on with Marge. So maybe this is a window in.
I'm going to try to not say what I think is going to happen.
No, you don't have to.
Nope.
Just hold on to that.
Let's try to not watch this show that way. How about that?
That's
Because
the
we do
goal.
know how it's going to happen. And you know what? I'm just not going to speak it into existence.
Yeah, let's just hope for the best.
Uh-huh.
Cautiously optimistic. See, we're doing it.
Although I will say we are marked safe, episode 1, without Marge screaming. Marge screaming is probably the worst thing on television.
That's a good point. Marge really gets into it.
She
Marge
just-
Jr.
Yeah, Marge Jr. just goes off. And this is just something that has really
She
reared
even went
its
off
ugly
on
head.
Fessler last year.
I know.
They're tight. But Marge asks Fessler to go to dinner, which we know is a guy's. She's actually trying to get her to the surprise party. And Fessler does say, it was nice that Teresa actually called me and wished me a happy birthday. And Marge shuts it down quick. Don't talk to me about her. She's dead to me. And after the shit that she pulled with my son, which I get, by the way, because Louie had somebody call. Was it Louie that called? Who called her son's office, like place of
His
work?
PI or something, maybe.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Maybe. Who the fuck even knows, dude?
I don't know, man. Again, like, I forgot.
But that's the other thing is this is coming from Marge, who has done countless shit
she's
against other people. So for her to take a stand now and be like, no, that's too far. Like, what have you done? You've done worse things.
But that's the whole thing on this show is everyone goes tit for tat all the time. And then when it comes to them, they don't see that they've done anything wrong. They point the finger on the other side of the field. It's just so frustrating. And Marge says, I'm over it. Good, because so are we. But we move on to Louie and Teresa and Dolores and Paulie. They're all having dinner. Paulie gets sick from Italian food?
Supposedly.
Is that just an Irish thing? Because, like, Irish cuisine...
Dude.
like,
I mean, I've eaten Italian food my whole life, but I'm not from Ireland, so I can't really speak on that.
Yeah.
But I imagine maybe? I know. The meatballs?
Meatballs. Imagine not eating, like, pasta your whole life.
No, I don't think it was from the pasta. I think it was from the meatballs. Or maybe the sauce.
Maybe he had a bad meatball.
Maybe he just had a bad meatball.
And that just
now he's afraid.
Maybe. I mean, that happens. I had Popeye's chicken. I used to eat it
But here's
all the
thing. He's from Ireland, and he's been living in Jersey for how long, and he hasn't had Italian food?
That's what I'm saying.
Jersey?
I know.
Jersey?
I heard you. Playoffs.
Meatballs?
Meatballs? So he gets a steak medium well instead, which, woof.
Hockey puck.
But Louie, in this moment, because they're all talking about the marriage and her and Teresa are so happy, blah, blah, blah. And he, like, awkwardly is like, when you putting a ring on it, big guy? Hey.
I could tell it's one of those things, too, where you just, like, and I don't know if this was editing or not, but when it pans back over to Louie's face, you can tell he's, like, a little nervous now.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, that didn't work. That didn't land well.
You're not laughing at all.
Yeah, no. I think this is maybe we actually see Louie take a step back from just saying dumb shit all the time.
That was
popping off.
I don't think so. I think in this moment he got checked because he's scared of Paulie a little bit.
Yeah.
And was like, oops. And I think exactly what happened was this is going to bring up the divorce conversation again. And clearly him and Dolores have had this conversation probably.
They say they have it every day. Yeah.
So I'm sure in that moment, Paulie's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Why did you do this?
Yeah. The only reason that I say that maybe Louie's taking a step back is because in the past, he would have relished the idea of going over to Fessler's party and having a big chest-to-chest conversation.
That's a good point.
With Fuda, and he didn't do that. And he made a face after saying that. So sure, yeah.
Not even a city, just a business meeting in Florida.
In Florida.
Yeah, that was how big it was. But he does say, not until the divorce is final, I want to propose to her the right way and do this the whole thing the right way. We got to cut to Dolores, and 10 years of separation with no divorce that's an extenuating amount of time.
Not to mention, we've also had, 2.5 seasons of this?
Yeah.
And that is a long time in reality TV.
Paulie entered the scene last year. I guess was it the end of?
Well, I'm counting this as a full season. It's only episode 1, and it doesn't seem like we got anywhere towards the end of the season, just based off of the way they were talking. So I don't know. It's a long time in reality TV to keep this going and not have the pressures, especially when you go to your confessionals and you're saying, we talk about this every day.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody brings it up. When are you guys getting married? Every single day? Like, that's a lot of pressure. Maybe you just do it. I don't know.
I mean, just get divorced at least.
Yeah, at the very least.
There.
Get the ball rolling.
Yeah, just start there.
Especially when he said last year, didn't he say he already had a ring for her too? Like, he was already shopping. So, like, it's just, I don't,
nuts. Yeah, I was like,
you're not nuts. No, you're good,
cool.
dude.
But they start talking about Fessler's party, and that, Louie brings up that I texted Fuda and asked if he could meet for a cup of coffee, and Fuda said, appreciate the text, but I'm just going to talk to you at the party. And he's like, men need to sit down. Like, if we're going to do this, we got to sit down. Men sit down and talk face to face. I will say this. I do agree that if you're going to hash it out, do it in a private...
One-on-one.
Yeah, one-on-one somewhere where you can get to the bottom. At the very least, like, what you're hoping for is maybe not friendship, but hey, we know where we stand. You go your way, I'll go my way. Let's just drop this shit. I agree with you. I think that Fuda is taking the stance, as we find out later, of, he disrespected my family, disrespected me. Why would I give him the time of day? I don't think that's it. I think that this is meant to, or he wants this to be on screen. So he's saying
Which it would be on screen.
I know, but maybe
and this is Jersey, so like the house husbands, for whatever reason, get the same amount of stage as the women do. So I don't really understand any of that, but this would be on camera.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be in the same light that I think Fuda would want, where he wants this big blow up at a big party because that's Jersey. My wife's been watching New Jersey for 15 years. Her old username
Bravo
was
fan 1 2 3
Bravo
4,
Fan
whatever.
1234. So she knows how this goes down. We got to do it this way or this way alone. So I think that's where he's coming from.
And that definitely could be. And I think what's bumming me out about the dudes is like, we like the dudes and we like the scenes where they're, having fun, whatever. What they're
I think
doing
those
now,
days are past, too.
I agree.
Yeah.
And like when they get overly involved, we cannot forget that this is the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Like the women are the stars of the show.
Yeah.
If the dudes are going to get involved, it's for the comedic relief when they're going golfing and making dick jokes and
Yep.
all that nonsense where we get like a 5-minute at most of seeing them be idiots. Like that's funny. And you get to see the camaraderie. That's cool. I don't need to see the drama between the dudes all season. That's not why we watch this. But that also is concerning to me. You wanted to talk about in the beginning of the show, getting the clip from the finale, like, oh, this is probably going to be a dud. It's concerning to me that we're leading off with husband drama.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you don't have to tee it up and have crazy drama episode 1. You could have eased into it. But regardless, the fact that the dudes are taking center stage is alarming.
Yeah.
And it's also taking away from when they are funny and comedic relief.
There's not going to be any comedic relief.
I don't think so either. I think they're too serious now. They're getting overly involved.
Uh-huh.
That's not their role on the show. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a dangerous game to be playing overall. It's even more alarming that it's episode 1. So we'll see how it goes from there. But I guess Teresa and Danielle are cool. They've squashed things, or at least are amicable now, which is nice.
No, it seems like they're good. The way that Teresa spoke about Danielle was that she loved her.
Yeah.
She's a great girl.
They worked through
So whatever. It was honestly, at the end of the day, what happens is you just need to bow down to Teresa.
That's what it is.
And I think Danielle did that. I think
guess.
Danielle found herself, because at the end of last season, she found herself in no man's land where she really didn't have friends.
You think she kissed the ring?
And she kissed the ring.
Yeah.
She had to have.
Probably. This is where we start now. We're getting back into it. We're getting back right where we left off last year. Well, at the reunion, Frank told Louie, because they're cool now, and he told that everybody met before the reunion and agreed to take Louie down. And another thing I heard was Fessler said, you guys didn't execute the plan. And Paulie actually says, like, actually, I heard that too.
Yeah.
You'd have to be deaf not to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Is that a little Irish accent at the end of that? All right. Yeah, that's good.
I can do Irish. But I'm glad Dolores gets a confessional here, because in my mind, I'm like, if I'm going into a reunion, I'm meeting with my teammates beforehand to get our game plan together. You know how these things go, especially Jersey reunions. They're different. They're way more volatile. People come with all kinds of receipts, private investigators apparently, paid commenters, paid content creators. There's a lot of shit to get in line. So when you're playing this much behind the scenes, you need to meet up to make sure your stories are straight.
No, it seemed like that during the reunion last year too, where if they did have a game plan, there wasn't any execution.
It was not. It was
Because it was very messy, and it was mostly just Teresa versus Melissa, and neither of them actually talking to each other.
Just yelling over each
And
other.
there was just nothing to be had, and it was 3 parts of absolutely nothing until the very end of the 3rd part, where Fuda was the one who called out Louie for everything.
Yes.
That's not the person that you should have spearheading.
No.
You should have someone on the other side spearheading it, or what? I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do. Marge should go after him. Like, all these people could have formulated something to do it, and they didn't. My thing is Fessler being the one saying you didn't execute
Interesting.
is interesting.
Very interesting.
Because we've known her, and maybe she's going to take a different step this year. I don't really know, but we've known her to be the middleman.
Relatively
neutral. She's the only comedic relief on the show.
Yeah.
She's the only one that we get a little funny scene here and there with her mixing it up wherever she's going about. So for her to be the one to say you didn't execute was interesting to me.
I thought that was too. And I also like that Teresa goes on to say, people just don't want to see us happy. And Dolores quickly is like, let's just toast.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing this shit again.
Yeah.
We got it. We know how last season went. We don't need to go back down this road. Cheers, everybody. Let's drink. This is when we get to Fessler's 55th, and Teresa and Jen are in the car on the way there. It's our first, I guess, Jen Aiden was off in Italy when they filmed the first couple of scenes, but we find out that Louie has a business meeting in Florida. Where's Bill? Surgery. As per usual. Is he in surgery or is he in the pool house?
He's in the
Smoking
pool
a
house.
blunt.
Uh-huh.
I think he's in the pool house.
house.
Smoking a blunt. We get to Fessler's 55th, and everybody arrives. We get to see Danielle and Fuda. Rachel Fuda. I just call the Fudas Fuda, period.
Just Fuda.
You got to figure out which one I'm talking about. But Fuda and Danielle are starting from scratch, and we had high hopes for this duo last year, and hoping that they would kind of usher in somewhat of a new era of Jersey, and we even got a couple of optimistic moments where, ooh, like, there's potential here. quickly squashed because of the Melissa and Teresa nonsense, and they both picked a side. They
Mm-hmm.
were both paired up against each other. Turned out to not be what we wanted. I'm glad that we have a chance to see them try to mend this friendship and move forward from this, because we do. We need some new shit to root for on this show to give us a hope for the future, whatever that future may look like. But we go back to Teresa and Jen in the car, and this is what's going to get really hard for me. This is going to get really frustrating and really difficult, because they start talking about, oh, there's some kinky shit on social media around Fuda. And something about a double-sided purple dildo.
Yeah.
I didn't see this. Did you see this?
I didn't see. There was so much shit that came out. I remember the drug dealer thing, of course, because we even talked to him, not even as like a, hey, we don't believe any of this. It was like a, do you want to talk about this shit?
You want
Because
to
there's
share
a
your
lot of
side
things
this
going
story?
on. I do kind of remember that, and there's a couple of. I guess we don't have to name them by name.
No.
We probably shouldn't do
Don't do
that.
that.
But there's a couple of accounts out there that decided to try to drum up as much shit about John Fuda as possible. And I think that was part of it. And it's from like his ex or baby mama or whatever, as he says, that it was, all bullshit. It's all slander. It's all things because she's upset at me.
She's in prison.
She's
by
in
the way.
prison, and she was in prison. I think she's
I
out
think
now.
she's still-
And now
from
she's
what-
in like a psych ward or
From
something.
what he was saying tonight or last night, it sounds like she's still in prison, because he said she's in prison.
Yeah, so I don't know what the hell any of that was. It's just everybody's trying to do a smear campaign, and sometimes a double-sided dildo comes out of it.
Yeah,
It
everyone
was
knows
purple,
that.
apparently.
Purple. I don't want to keep saying it. DBD, DSD, a purple D,
Purple D.
purple double D. Nope, that doesn't sound good either.
Maybe we just stop talking about the.
Let's call it old purple. That's what we call it now.
Purple, yeah, old purple.
Purple rain.
Old reliable. Purple rain. Now we're
Rain.
talking. All right,
Yeah,
there we
old
go.
Purple rain.
There we got there.
But their comment of, there's so much shit that came out on social media. It's like, well, yeah, because you two are feeding this shit. Teresa feeds it to Jen. Jen feeds it to accounts. And this isn't hearsay anymore. We have emails, receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. We have all this shit. We've seen it. I've read it ad nauseum, because for the past 3 weeks, it's been the only thing on most accounts is what's been going on behind the scenes on social media, which should be captivating, but instead it's just frustrating, because you know that what we're watching on TV, we already have to decipher between the bullshit, what's real, authentic, and what's been overproduced. Now, when you see these two talking about social media, I'm like, I don't believe, though. Like,
Yeah.
you guys fed this to them.
And it's just like ushering in a new era of housewives that Bravo just needs to nip in the bud. You can't be doing this shit. Like what started with Salt Lake when they started talking about that. And obviously, look, the Monica thing was a good drop. Nobody saw it coming, or I guess some people did, and they always get mad at us for saying nobody saw it coming.
on Reddit.
The majority of people didn't actually see it coming, and it was a great break, and it was a lot of fun. And Monica's gone.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Monica did all of that, and she's no longer on the show because people don't want to talk to her. What do you think is going to happen here, or one of your better franchises that's doing really well, if somebody comes out and says, oh, I've been getting all of this information fed to me, and it's going right to my account, and they're paying me for it? It's not going to be a good look. So Bravo needs to get this shit under wraps, and hopefully this is not just the tip of the iceberg. This is the whole thing.
There's no
would
way.
hope.
There's not a way.
I know that there's more, and obviously, look, can you imagine?
Jen Aiden was buying strollers for these creators. She
Yeah.
was buying them all sorts of shit, sending them money. Like, this is collusion. It's collusion at the highest level. This is why I said I feel like this is a goddamn election.
Yeah.
This is reality TV we're talking about.
I'm just going to move forward without remembering
I
that happened.
cannot. I can't.
Okay.
I can't, because they keep bringing it up. But whatever. We move on, and we get Melissa and Dolores, and they're talking about the divorce thing again. And I guess that, Frank is he's still with his girlfriend and obviously thinking about getting married. This is where Dolores tells us, we're asked about the marriage question literally every single day. And we also find out in this moment, it's been 10 years that they've been separated. She hoped that it would be done at this point. I have a feeling this is going to come back up. This is going to be a bigger deal than it actually is right now. I think she's trying to be cool, but it's clearly eating at her, and it's clearly eating at Paulie because of the comment that Louie made.
Yeah.
He was like stone-faced, like, we're working on it. So I'm curious to see, and like, I have such a soft spot for Dolores always, that I just want her to be happy and like get whatever she wants, because there's so few people in the show that I continue to root for. She's one of them. Her, Fessler.
Correct.
Yeah, and the kids.
And all the kids,
That's pretty much it. But Teresa and Jen finally get there with the most awkward hellos ever. Joe completely ignores them. Marge blows off Teresa. She says they did say hi to each other, which is more than I thought would happen.
I think Teresa said hi to Marge, and Marge said hi to Jen.
Oh,
I don't think that Marge said hi to Teresa.
Probably. But what's funny about Marge Jr. is anytime that this happens and she has a moment where she thinks she's being either tough or like, I showed her, she has to immediately go tell somebody.
Yeah.
The first thing she does is go, she came up and said hi. I just blew right by her, blew past her. It's like, cool.
She blew right by her, and then she said hi to Jen and like held her hand for too long. It was just really weird. Like, that's what I don't understand about Marge is Jen is Teresa's number one.
Mm.
Why are you being nice to her and holding her hand, but not even saying hi to Teresa? Like, at least fucking say hi. Or don't say hi to either of them.
Because,
it's
as
just annoying.
Teresa says, it's because Jen is friends with Teresa. And then Jen, that was funny when Jen's like, usually people don't talk to me because I'm your friend. I was like, that was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
But we see Jackie. I guess she wrote a book, and I think it's actually about her struggles with her eating disorder and things like that. So it's actually, kudos to her, and that's really cool that she put that out there. But she's still trying to do too much, I think.
I know,
because,
I said that too.
Like, Danielle walks by and Fuda walks by, and they both say hi. It's not like the most warm hi ever, but it's a hello. And she's like, did you see that? She walked right by and didn't say anything. It's like, no, she did. And then she also didn't realize who it was that walked by.
Yep.
So she's just trying to find something.
Still holding on to the Danielle replaced me thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Let it go.
Yeah, no.
Let it go. There's too many
It already
repeats.
seems like Jackie's going to take a bigger spot in this year anyway because she's flipping sides and everybody's mad at her. And like, just do what you're going to do.
Do what you're going to do. But Fessler's coming. She's coming. Everyone keeps yelling it. I don't know why. It's a surprise party. Settle down. Let her walk through the door. But she walks through. She's actually surprised. And this is when we get to the dudes. And Paulie's been making dildo jokes all night, which is, I mean, you got to.
You have to.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
You got to make that joke.
Yeah.
And Joe, of course, the shit stirrer, starts saying, where's your boy? Where's your boy? And I like, Paulie doesn't stand on bullshit. At least I appreciate that about him. He's like, who are you talking about? He's like, where's your boy at? Where's your boy? He's like, finally goes, say his name, and I'll tell you where he is. Like, quit this shit. If you're going to fucking be a tough guy and be a tough guy, say his fucking name. And he says, like, where's Louie at? And, we got a meeting in Florida. That's where Fuda decided to say, yeah, I thought we were going to talk here today. It's like, no, you didn't.
No, you
You
didn't.
knew what you set up. You knew what you did. Like, this is where it's going to get annoying. If you're going to play the game a certain way, stand by it. Don't put the pieces in motion and then push comes to shove and Paulie calls you out. And now you're like, well, I planned on talking to him here.
I know. And it's just annoying because the whole thing is with Louie going to Florida, if you will, Fuda's going to feel entitled and feel like he's ducking him, and then he's going to get more power from that. And he's going to say, you're dodging me. I'm just trying to have a conversation. You can't even do that with me. You can't come to this party. Like, no, we all know, and hopefully all the viewers at home know how that would have turned out.
Yeah, it would have been a blowout.
It would have been an absolute blowout at
It
Fessler's
was a
birthday
blowout
party.
without him even
Without him even being there, and it's just because they were asking Paulie questions, and Paulie was not having it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it turns out to be. You were there prepared for a fight.
Yes.
That's how you got into a fight with Paulie.
Yep.
So what would have happened if Louie was there? And look, Louie had enough restraint, whether it was Teresa telling him to do this or him staying home and doing whatever. I don't care what happened. If he was there, he would have put his foot in his mouth. He would have started something a lot higher up. He would have gotten into Fuda's face. He would have gotten into Joey's face. Like, whatever the fuck he's going to do, it would have been so much worse. And it's very clear to us that you just wanted to start a fight with him.
And it's really annoying because you're standing there going, it seems like you're on Louis' side. It seems like you're on his side. It's like, dude, grow up.
Also, Dolores is like the ultimate Switzerland.
Yes.
She is not taking a side. Where do you think Paulie stands? Not taking a side. So that's not the person you go after.
And it's frustrating because he can be friends with Louis and be friends with you. We're not in high school anymore. Like, you can separate the two. All of the housewives this season have come into it pretty much on that path where it's like certain friends or certain people are friends across the lines, across enemy lines. I'm sure that'll blow up at some point. It's not going to be cool the entire season, but for him to be like, it seems like you're taking his side. It's like, I haven't seen Paulie take his side. He took his side here because he agrees with him. And that's what Paulie says. He goes, no, I'm on nobody's schedule. In this moment, he asked to meet with you one-on-one. That's how this should be handled.
Right.
You guys should have a conversation because you know if it happens here, what's going to come out of that.
But also, what's it based off of?
Right.
Just like that Dolores talks to Teresa, or
Right.
that they had dinner together? Why are you not going after Nate?
Exactly.
Danielle's friends with Teresa now. Do you don't think Nate and Louie are talking?
That's what I'm saying.
So you're not going after Nate because Nate would probably beat your ass.
So would Paulie.
So would Paulie.
So,
So
like-
it was very weird that he would even. It just doesn't make any sense.
I didn't understand it, but the boys start barking, is what I wrote down. And, they're just shut the fuck up, and like shit escalates, as of course it did. Like, you knew this is the whole reason, and I'm going to give Louis some credit here, that he didn't do it at the party.
Yep.
Whether he had a meeting in Florida or not, this is the reason why. Because this is the only outcome when you get a bunch of dudes with their chest out.
Mm-hmm.
All of these guys are like that. It's a very Jersey thing, very Northeast thing. Everyone's got their chest bowed out.
Jersey thing.
No one's going to take any shit. Yeah, it's a Jersey thing. You wouldn't get it. It's a Jersey thing. But they all, of course, it's going to come to this. And luckily, Dolores steps in and goes, we're done. We're leaving. Paulie, all right, let's get out of here. They bounce, so it doesn't actually escalate into a physical altercation, which is good. But Joe tries to calm Fuda down, like they're trying to settle everybody down. This is the whole point I made earlier. This is too much with the dudes. Did not need this.
Nope.
Don't need to see this. Takes away from the real housewives of the show. And all of the applause, I guess, or like the enjoyable moments, or what am I trying to say?
I have no idea, dude.
All of the support.
Support?
That joyful moments. Who the
Applause?
fucking applause. This is our
Fucking
second recording.
support?
It's our second recording of the night. You know what happens, okay? Shit gets weird. But applause, all of the cadoos that we've given these gentlemen over the past couple of years in the scenes where they're, smoking weed at Marge's house and eating off the food truck, like funny little quips that we get to watch them interact and just be funny and have a good time. It's out the window. And like you said, I think those days are gone. I think they are too. And they need to shift the focus back. We cannot have the men driving storylines.
It's not even that they're gone. They're still going to do those scenes. It's just not going to involve everybody. And you're going to get the dudes talking shit on somebody like Louie or somebody like Paulie, because Paulie's not going to be one of them. He doesn't want to hang out with them. He said it last year. He doesn't even want to hang out with them. It's just weird. So now what are we going to get? Are we going to get... Is Frank even going to be part of that?
I haven't seen
I don't
Frank.
know if Frank even wants to do anything around those guys. It's just the whole thing is completely off, and we're still going to get scenes where it's like Joe and probably Bill Aiden, because Bill Aiden doesn't give a fuck what side Jen's on. You'll get Joe, Bill Aiden, and Fuda, and they're going to be like, ripping like beer bongs out somewhere. And
Talking shit about...
And it's going to be like, oh, this is supposed to be fun. This is just like the old Jersey days. It's like, it's not. It's fucking annoying because they're going to be talking more shit than the housewives are.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And as the night's winding down, Teresa's walking by Rachel Fuda and says, we need to talk at some point because your husband went for my husband. It's like, here we fucking go. Here we go. Like, you didn't have to take it here. Of course she does. Fuda says, like, our husbands need to have a separate conversation. Teresa's like, well, oh, sorry, not Teresa. Fucking Teresa's mouthpiece and her go-between for the content creators, Jen Aiden. Well, Louie tried to. Don't do that. Let Teresa and Fuda figure this out or not figure it out. I don't like when there's a third party present, but she chimes in and she's like, well, when gentlemen, and Fuda goes, gentlemen, come on, Teresa. He doesn't even know what a gentleman is. And it's like, I feel like we haven't, it's now involving two different people, I guess.
Yeah.
Now it's Louie versus Fuda. This is the same thing as last year.
Yep.
It's the same argument, just with a different guy.
Yeah.
This is when Teresa pulls out, well, your husband respects me. He said that he has respect for me because we were both in jail, because he was the biggest drug dealer in Bergen County. I have a lot of issues with this narrative, especially if he did go to jail.
Yeah.
He served his time. Are we going to do this all the time where somebody's past immediately reflects who they are now? Like, that's annoying because you went to jail too, Teresa, and you claim to have changed and gone through this spiritual awakening with Louie, whatever the fuck it is, this love bubble that y'all are in. Why is this relevant? Why are we looking at multiple accounts on social media talking about John Fuda's past, he was a drug dealer, blah, blah, blah? You can do fucked up things in your past. That's what being a better person in the future is all about. So why is this that damning? When I'm watching the scene, I'm like, okay, did he go to jail? Okay. Is he a good dude now? Does he take care of his family? Is he still breaking the law? No. Then what are we talking about? This is irrelevant news. This has nothing to do with it right now. It has nothing to do with the season. If he was, which there still is no evidence other than Teresa feeding Jen Aiden and Jen Aiden Eden feeding this to other content creators. That's the proof we have.
Yeah.
We have people digging in his
It wasn't
past.
even like a information that you could have gotten that it was like privy in a conversation that
No.
Teresa got. You could have just looked up his past.
That's public knowledge. If he
Public
actually did
knowledge.
go to
It's
jail.
just, it's always weaponized when it's somebody against you.
yes.
If it was all of a sudden Rachel Fuda is friends with Teresa and John Fuda is over here on Louie's side, then you would have never known that.
No.
Well, I mean, Marge would have dug it up because Marge
Probably.
digs everything up. But no matter what happens, no matter what side you're on or what you're doing, there's always this past information that gets dug up by somebody and they just scream it across the table. And that's always how it's going to go. In light of what I said earlier, where I'm not going to be able to remember the content creator stuff, it's going to rear its ugly head all the
Yeah.
time. And every time that Jen or Teresa says something that's relevant on social media, it's going to be like, okay, they probably got it from you.
That's right. Exactly.
it's just gonna be
Now they're trying to
annoying,
use
yeah.
it as evidence, and it's like you're getting this drug dealer shit from his ex, who's in jail, who doesn't like him. So again, even if it's true, your source isn't credible. One, and even if it's true, he did his time. If he's not breaking the law now, I could give two shits that he dealt drugs back in the day.
Wasn't there people last year, weren't they trying to dig up information?
Yes,
On
they
the
hired
show?
a PI.
Yeah.
That's what, like, this is my point, and the only evidence that we seemingly have is hearsay from content
Well,
creators.
didn't we
that are getting
have-
fed by
I
Jen
think-
Aiden?
And I think we also had Marge was trying to, or Marge and Jen Aiden were both trying to reach out to Fuda's ex
Yes.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's really funny because I guess the line in the sand hadn't been drawn yet, so Rachel didn't pick a side yet. So if she's going to stay in the middle, we got to have this information ready to go.
Interesting.
Once she picks a side, then the other one weaponizes it. It's just annoying to see it.
Yeah, it's just all frustrating. And Fuda walks by, John Fuda walks by, and just said hi to Teresa. And she just goes, double-sided dildo. Which is kind of funny.
It's really funny in a nutshell. It's great. Maybe just, tweak it a little bit. Could have had a better joke in there.
Yeah, it just like says that out of nowhere. He's like, what? And she's like, the drug dealer conversation comes. She goes, it's all on social media. It's all on social media. This is going to get, if this is the go-to response to everything, dude, it's like,
It's going to be the entire season.
but it's not on social media. You put it on social media. That's the equivalent of you pulling up your photos and your notes and saying, see, it's on social media. It's not the same thing. And Fuda claps back with not a good clap back because Teresa, for all that she is a has-been, she is not. She
Yeah.
is still the face of the
Still
Housewives
polarizing,
franchise.
yeah.
Like, you can't throw that one out. It doesn't work. So we're getting clumsy debates on either side. And that is not fun TV for me.
No.
And this first episode, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't anything.
No.
We just, like, it took us 10 minutes to latch on to the actual topic because I had to go through the beginning where it's just the same bullshit.
I did appreciate that Teresa turned around and goes, ooh, candy.
Yeah, I mean,
After all that. I mean, that's fun.
how could you not?
Yeah.
You know, there's a walking,
The fucking walking,
a
twirling
walking
candy person.
candy pool,
Pool.
table.
Table.
Fuck. This show has my head in a pretzel. I want to like it. I really do. I want it to get back to a show, not a slander fest. And it's literally smear campaigns. We're
Yeah.
watching smear campaigns week to week. I don't know. I would love to hear from genuinely. This isn't like a dig at people that are enjoying this. Like, who out here likes where this show is headed? I'm going to put a poll out. Like, I need to understand what's
I don't even know if
appealing
it's
now.
where it's headed now. I think this is where we are.
Right, but like, who
Like, the last couple years that we talked about this, it was always, where the fuck are we going with this?
And
What
now
are you
we're
going to
here.
do? And now we're here.
Well, I want to know who does this show appeal to right now
I
in
don't
this
know.
current state that it's in?
I think it's just people trying to find the resolution at the end of the day.
There isn't.
I know, and there isn't, but they just want to know how it ends. And they just keep watching.
By them canceling
Yeah.
it or recasting it or coming
Yeah.
up with a different direction. As we said last year, Teresa will be a star regardless of what show she's on. Take her and Louie and all of them and put them on their own fucking show. Whatever that looks like, great. You have Fuda and Danielle, who knows if they can do this. Last year, I had high hopes for the both of them. I don't anymore. Can they do it? Maybe. But this does not work. This
No.
isn't fun.
And it doesn't even end if you just remove Melissa because there's still Marge, there's still now Fuda.
Yes.
They're still going to go after Teresa, so it's just going to be more of the same without Melissa there, who, by the way, still doesn't really do anything. All she does
doesn't do
is
anything now 'cause she
just
refuses to
stands
talk.
there. She refuses to talk. And at least in the first episode, she's not talking about Teresa in her confessionals. When she's standing at the party, we barely even see her. The only time that we do see her is when Marge comes over and says what she did to Teresa, and Rachel comes over and starts talking about it. You just see Melissa's reaction. Like, she's not doing anything anymore.
I will say this. She did say that she's not going to engage Teresa. She's not going to comment and speak on it. She at least held true to that.
First episode.
I will give her credit where credit's due.
Probably
in that
only about
regard.
20 more.
Bro, no. No, don't do that to me. And then 6 reunions because it'll be the last reunion. I don't know.
It won't be.
Oof. It's going to be a long season, man. Buckle up. But
Yeah.
let's get into some questions. Let's see how our listeners are feeling about it.
All right, first up here from Max June 3. How do you feel about Dolores being neutral between Teresa and Melissa?
I like it. I like it because I don't want her to pick a side. I'm sick of sides needing to be taken. Hopefully she sets a precedent and other people follow suit. Like, hey, let's stop making this her versus her because it's fucking boring and played out.
Yeah. I don't even know what this means, but it's kind of funny. Maeve Kanar said, is John Fuda morphing into a Simpsons character? I don't even know what that means. But yes, he is.
Read it.
Since Tree and Jen have decided to make John their focus, isn't he entitled to respond? And then, do you think Melissa deserves a chance at being on the show without Teresa? I do. Team Melissa or Team Teresa?
Just read that.
No,
go from the beginning. Be like, oh, it's already starting, and just read off like 5 different ones.
Well, it's already starting. We've got a couple of questions here. D Tuttle 45. Since Tree and Jen have decided to make John their focus, isn't he entitled to respond? Ryan Stoneman, normal question guy. Is it time for Bravo to retire Teresa? Miranda E412. Do you think Melissa deserves a chance at being on the show without Teresa? I do. And Rags asks, Team Melissa or Team Teresa?
Let me preface this by saying, valid questions, everybody. This is not on you. You're asking pertinent questions. The problem is you could have asked these same exact questions for every single episode the last 5 years. And there is no answer. There is no answer. Should Fuda be able to respond? Sure. Should there be sides? Probably not. Should they be targeting someone episode 1? No, because it's not fun and we know where the season's going to go.
Yep.
Team Melissa or Team Tree? Neither. There's nothing to stand for. What do you want? On one side, they're feeding content creators. On the other side, they're drumming up bullshit. Like, there's no answers here, and it's the same questions we ask year in and year out.
All right, so let's move on to some new questions.
Okay.
Sarah Shears says, is using rumors on the web a lazy way to create a storyline?
It's the laziest way to create a storyline. It also completely belittles and undermines the entire point of these shows and takes it to a place that we don't want to watch it now because we know it's all drummed up bullshit.
Yep. And this is actually a pretty good one because this will not be Teresa versus Melissa. eFitz07 said, thoughts on Marge's alleged storyline being about marital issues between her and Joe?
If that is the case and we get to actually glimpse into Marge's life a little bit more, okay. Like, we don't usually get that. So if that's a new aspect to this season that we are going to be privy to that we haven't been in the past, fine. Okay. I'm in. At least it's new.
We'll do one more here from, let's go with, this is kind of a funny one. RM Lays, what would you think of Dorinda joining RHONJ? She was at the premiere.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm not against that.
She's friends with Teresa, right?
I'm not against
She
that.
was at the wedding, so.
That would be chaos. And
I'd be into it.
I'm into it.
I don't give a shit. Honestly, just leave Jersey the way it is and just all these people that you're clamoring to have back from different franchises, just throw them in Jersey.
Put them all there.
Make it a fucking nightmare.
Bring Dorinda, Phaedra, who else? Turn it into a Traitors episode.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit? Like,
Monica.
Monica.
Monica would do really well on this show.
Monica would fit in on this show.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it's headed. I don't know. It's going to be a long season.
It sure is.
Buckle up, baby. We're in for the long haul. This is the first one. Woof.
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 We should probably try to isolate this on just itself on one day. I feel like it takes a lot out of us. We shouldn't do multiple episodes on Jersey Day.
Yeah, you're right. Here.
Here.
But other than that, you got anything else?
Nope.
Well,
go Phillies, best record in the league.
Damn right. We got something to root for until they break our heart. But hopefully this is the season. Famous last words. Don't forget, 7 tickets left in Boston. 7. That's it.
7.
So if you want to come to the show, make sure you go get those tickets ASAP. Lock them down so you don't miss out. Other than that, Rob Bros are out of here.
Later.